everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Saturday Chat.
I'm just getting settled in.
This is Dave. I'm Ashley. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is the Saturday Chat, where we chat about the song for the Sunday shout out. That's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, or yesterday, or a week ago, depending on when you're seeing this chat.
Or a year from now.
We are covering a song. And that song is
Bobbie Gentry's Fancy.
Fancy, as recommended by
John B.
John B.
We actually got an email from John requesting this song, saying, I don't know if this is the right way to request a song. There is no wrong way to request a song, my good fellow.
We got another email today requesting a song.
Oh my.
I'll tell you
we never know what we're going to get. I'll say that.
Actually, it's a song that had been on my radar.
Okay.
It just popped back up. I had forgotten about it. I liked it for a really long time. I'm looking forward to probably doing it.
So did you first hear Bobbie Gentry's version of Fancy, or did you hear Reba's first?
Reba's first.
Same.
And when I heard it, I didn't really like it, honestly.
Okay, so I was in my country phase.
That it gives me.
Right? Okay, can you define that feeling? I'll give you a minute to think on like what the name of that feeling is that it gives you.
Not really sure what you would call it, but the subject matter is definitely, I think at the time, it probably bothered me more than it bothered me now, because I think that, I'm going to summarize this really succinctly, and then I don't even really want to talk about it, because it makes me so infuriated. I think that at the time, I was more offended because I was supposed to be offended. Like a woman shouldn't be able to do whatever the hell she wants with her own damn body. Like, and I think that a woman should have complete bodily autonomy, and if that's the way that she got ahead, then that's the way she got ahead.
So do you feel okay? All right. So this took a completely different turn than I expected, because the song made me uncomfortable when I heard it the first time, but it was from a woman's perspective of going from the sheltering of your mother to her mother turning her out because they're, and it like even like going from the shelter, but it was because they had such dire circumstance. The mother could not protect her any longer, and she knew there but one way to help her daughter literally survive. She had already given up her other child for dead. She said, this baby's gonna starve.
Yeah, you know,
I'm getting ready to die. The baby's gonna starve.
Like, I don't feel great about the mom, you know, but like there ain't no.
I don't feel like what else was she supposed to do?
You can do exactly like I don't have no judgment now for the mom. In the
Not at all.
I didn't really like.
No, I just thought it was so sad.
And
the whole circumstance was sad.
Like, I think the song, and I don't think it's set up this way. Like, I think it's just the way that culture impacted me the first time I heard it was that you're supposed to, like, I kind of felt like, okay, she uses the phrase, not me, plain white trash. And you're supposed to, like, I think there's this, like, general sentiment that maybe, like I said, I don't know, or maybe it was just the cultured part of me that you're supposed to feel like this woman's, like, some type of hussy, you know, for doing a thing.
It implies action. It implies perhaps sex worker activity.
Well, it implies that the mother is, like prostituting her out, basically.
Right. Okay, so it implies these things, but it's never explicitly said. She could have been a housekeeper, because she said she met somebody who was benevolent, and then she was pouring his tea in a hotel suite. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's using the bed in the hotel suite. She's. I
mean, it's heavily implied.
It's heavily implied, for sure.
Like, I just don't,
because of the charm,
give a flying crap about it, like what a woman does with her body anymore. Like, I think that it is like so over. Like, I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care what a woman does in the bedroom. I don't care what a man does in the bedroom. That is between them and their own consciousness and whatever else other agreements that they've made. And I'm really, really tired of being implied that it's my job to cast morality on people as society.
Okay.
You know? So I think it's like, I'm 100% there for it. I think go fancy. Like, if you were able to use your body and like whatever and get ahead,
So
good on you.
So I saw this post, and it was somebody who was in the
Told you not to talk to me about it.
The industry. They were in the sex work industry, and they said, people judge me because I use my body to make money. And then she started posting all these pictures that were of people in construction and landscaping, which we did. And I can tell you right now, you definitely use your body in these jobs in order to make your paycheck. Any labor job.
Zero difference. There is no difference to me. If a woman wants to sell her body, that is no different than taking yourself and putting it in an office for 60 hours a week against your will, except for maybe even she's doing something that she wants to do and brings her some amount of pleasure or financial gain that she would not get somewhere else. And if she's come to that conclusion, I'm not here to judge her. It's not my place.
I'm not about judging or, like you say, casting morality on other people. I do feel like there are safety measures that need to be put in place for people in the industry, and also that folks easily fall into dangerous situations because we don't have the safety measures in place with
that's a whole nother discussion,
people corralling them and trafficking them and whatnot. It's like, to begin a thing under your own personhood and then have somebody come and take it over. It's no different than somebody taking over a company that you started that was like your saying that you began.
Well, people try to push down, like the people that are low, they try to push them down even further, right? Like, well, she deserved it because she dressed a certain way, or she deserved it because of her profession,
that's
or
a
what
whole
she chose
different
to do.
Rabbit trail.
And it's like a whole pushing down of society. To my point is that it is dangerous because even the cops and things like that, they don't like, oh, well, she was a dreg of society, or he was a dreg of society,
there are many
was a drug user, or he was.
There are many cops that don't feel that way, and I'll tell you because there are people that prey on.
There may be cops, but like, hold on, because there's like the whole criminal justice system is set up against that because they know it's going to be harder to prosecute these people because it's going to be harder to find a jury that will convict them.
Which is why there's predators that prey on them specifically.
And, I think that speaks very much to our American Christian culture that there is such a dividing line that exists, whereas to people that may be more colorful than us, to say, we'll say it that way, people that may be a little more different than us or doing things that we wouldn't choose to do, that we don't think they deserve, or we don't think that they're equal to us, or that some way we have to hold them down or judge them, when it's pretty clear to me that it's not our job to judge.
Well, I know, like, and within the same culture you're talking about, Christianity, that if you're believing in the Bible does talk about, it preaches against sexual immorality, which a lot of people would class sex work, prostitution within that sexual immorality bubble. And so that is where their moral compass is. And the thing is, you can believe something and believe that something's wrong and even have laws to support your belief system without casting a moral judgment on the other human being. You can believe that somebody's doing something outside of your moral your moral scope.
Here's where my problem comes with morality and judging morality, and then trying to make laws that support your morality over something else. Is like, where do you draw the line, right? Because nobody's saying, like, you take this song for instance, like, let's take a story of Fancy as an example and say, like, she didn't go up to a guy and say, like, maybe she didn't go up to him and say, well, $500 and I'll spend the night with you, and sell her body in that way, but it happens all the time, right? That people marry for money, or they marry for certain things. They marry for convenience.
All right.
So what is the difference if
you've got one customer?
You got one customer for your entire life, or you have multiple customers, so to speak.
Okay.
Is there a difference? That's something that I've always had a hard time with, and I think that was probably the first thought that I had, that was started to move the needle for me as to what a woman should be able to do and shouldn't be able to do with her own body. And then, you know, it didn't take me very long to get to the point that the answer is whatever the damn well please, you know?
Right.
Because, one, I'm not a woman, and two, I get to do anything I want to do. You know, now there may be consequences, you know.
Sure.
I'm not saying there ain't going to be consequences for what a woman chooses. And, you know, one of the best arguments I ever heard was, you know, and I'll support this politician, but at the time, I think it was Rand Paul's father. I can't remember his name. Ron. And he said, you know, he was arguing for the legalization of hard drugs, I think it was, or some certain hard drugs. And he was like, who in this audience, I want you to raise your hand right now, that if heroin was legal tomorrow, you would start going doing heroin just because it's legal. You know?
And nobody did.
And the point is that just because prostitution is illegal doesn't mean any less people do it or any more people do it. But like by making some of this stuff legalized, and I'm not standing on a soapbox trying to legalize prostitution by any means, but it opens the door for things like, you know, well, the first thing would be taxation, which the government loves, so they would love to get their hand on that. If they, you know, so they'd still have their hands on your body in one way, I guess. But it also opens the door for things like regulation and safety precautions and the ability to pick up the phone call and call the police if something goes wrong. So like if you know, there's bad people that already engage in this stuff because they know that they can do certain things and treat people certain kinds of way with very little chance that they get
consequence,
caught or consequences, because for one, right off the bat, the person's not going to want to call you know, an authority because they think they're going to end up in jail.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of arguments for.
Well, it's like the drug dealer calling the cops to come arrest the person that stole the drugs off of him. Like, bro, that's not. I mean, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it's not how
it's the same concept,
it's
just
like,
different
it's
business.
One of the things, like, you get in this sticky situation to me when you start legislating morality. Of like, you create a whole seedy underbelly of things, because all of a sudden it's maybe what you intended, which was to stop the woman from having sex outside of marriage, is probably why they originally wanted it, because they wanted pure women when they got married that had been untouched. And, you know, like, those laws still stay on the books forever and ever. And then what they originally wanted has all these underpinnings now of under consequences, if you know what I mean, you know, where it's like, okay, now, you know, if something happens to her, it just goes untouched. And if, like, you know, there's so many scenarios that you can run in your mind where stuff happens that shouldn't really happen, you know, because we're trying to legislate a morality that is really unlegislatable. If people want to do it, they're going to do it, you know?
It is, I think it's been coined as the oldest. The oldest business, you know, right?
Even more than, like, because, you know, I've gone through the whole thing I went down the drug rabbit hole and what should be legal and what shouldn't, where you draw the line. But then with this, it's like, it almost makes no sense to me at all, because me as an autonomous person, I can go have sex with whoever I want at any time, as long as it's agreeable, right?
Consensual,
Consensual, right? So I could do that at any time. I could have as many partners as I wanted to, hundreds. Like, I could do some pretty shady stuff legally with them. But yet, if I was just like, you know, if I was not feeling it one night and somebody was like, hey, you know, I'll give you $100, not that would ever happen with me, but, you know, all of a sudden it's against the law, you know? Or even if it was so much as a vague thing, like, it could be a vague thing that they could pin it back on you, like, oh, you know, I can't call you to hook up with you tonight because my phone's out of minutes, or I can't pay my phone bill, so I need $100 to pay my phone bill. Boom, transaction, sex worker. What? But yet you could just go have sex with that person for free. I mean, it literally makes no sense in my brain. Like, why? Because you attach a monetary value to it.
then it becomes the wrong thing.
Then it becomes the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it already like.
So I wonder. Okay, hold on. Like,
either way.
let me follow this down this rabbit hole though, because all right. So what if we put monetary transaction is the bad thing, right? Is that the bad thing, or is the sex the bad thing? So if the monetary transaction is the thing that makes it bad, then I mean, wouldn't that be...
That's the part that doesn't make sense, because like the people that are saying morality-wise, it's wrong either way, right?
Wouldn't it be wrong to charge then for water, which we actually need in order to live, or food, which we actually need in order to survive the world?
It's insane that to me, like you're getting on a whole different rabbit trail, but it's insane to me. It is literal insanity that the government can put you in jail for having sex with another person if there's a money transaction. But it's legal to just like tap a natural resource like water, bottle it, and then sell it for profit. Mm-hmm. Like when you literally are doing nothing and you're selling people something that is required for human existence. Mm-hmm. It's like, what?
Like, let me run down another rabbit hole too. Like, if you guys haven't heard about Free Water, go check out Free Water. They're a company that started up just a few years ago, and they have their advertisers pay for their packaging, and it's in cardboard, so it's a sustainable kind of a thing. We're not endorsed by them, although we should love to take them out to some festivals and whatnot as we go. If you haven't looked at them or seen them out and about, contact them or like look up their website. They're doing the Lord's work with some free water out in the world. Yeah. It's a pretty cool concept. I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, it's like we know better, because like at a restaurant they have to offer a free water option, right? Like that is, I believe that's a law that's on the books. Like
I don't know.
If you're a restaurant, you have to offer like a free water option, like because like water, I'm not 100% sure, but if you think about it, have you ever been turned down water at a restaurant for free?
I mean, like
I guess there's probably bars and things so they can get around it where they sell bottled water. However,
I'm just thinking of like the major venues, but they have water fountains available.
But I'm pretty sure that water fountain.
They have the water fountain,
or water has to be made available. Like these.
I was just thinking at the big venues, like a ballpark or something like that, where the water bottles are airport prices. And it's like, but even airports, they have water fountains.
There's probably laws from in the past where it's like you have to have water fountains if you're a business, because people understood that like water is a basic necessity.
Right.
So then to charge $3, $4, $5 for it for clean water, it's insane to me. Like it's like that is where it's like capitalism has gone too far. Like there's a lot of instances of that I think, which I'm generally a capitalist. I want to make money. I want to make music and I want to sell it and I want to make a profit. So that I can have things that I want to have. So at my core, I'm probably a capitalist. But in some ways, like it's definitely gone amok.
Yeah, anytime humans get involved, we're gonna make a mess of it. So
rabbit trail.
Yeah, I know. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us on our more mature content rabbit trail.
More mature content.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put a warning on, I think. I know. Anyway, maybe not the. I don't know. Maybe you need to start the conversation with your kids. We'll be those people, but. Thank you.
The song though was fun, and like
the song was a lot.
I'm not used to you talking this slow.
Oh my gosh, Bobbie Gentry. Bobbie Gentry has to be a cousin of Bob Dylan. They're both Bobs.
There's certain songs that are like super fast, like
so
I've Been
many
Everywhere
words
by Johnny Cash.
So many words. Smash.
Bob Dylan. He has one that is Subterranean Homesick Blues. This song is another one that's right up there for words per second, I think. Anyway, I was impressed.
Bobbie Gentry.
I was impressed with your speed at talking.
It's not even the speed; it's the cadence. There's a certain cadence. If you don't hit the cadence, it is very wrong. And you got to start over again. Yeah.
It's like you start to stumble and fall and trip because it's like so out of time.
All the way down the 12 verses of stairs till you.
I was also surprised before we wrap up, because I know that we're getting long, but it was a country crossover hit. I would never have suspected it as country.
I know. And it was
she was country and it crossover.
It was recorded in 1969, released in 1970, and then released her version in 91.
It's weird to me that like going back to the 60s and 70s, you had, and 50s even, we had female artists like Bobbie Gentry and Patsy Cline, and they sounded authentic to me. And this was a time when, you know, people had their authentic voices because it wasn't such a watered down like television. And,
right.
You know, I would expect that country music of that era had a lot more twang but they didn't.
She had more of a drawl.
I've really
less twang, more drawl.
I really liked the female so-called country artists because I would say they're more crossover hits that don't have a very country twang. For whatever reason, they've attracted me. Bobbie Gentry,
Patsy Cline,
Linda Ronstadt.
Later, Linda Ronstadt. She's a little bit later.
She's later, for sure. So anyhow, good job keeping up with the lyrics and not stumbling too bad.
We had fun. John, thank you for the request. Thank you guys for joining us down our rabbit trails. And we will see you tomorrow for our version of Fancy and next week for another Saturday chat.